everyone out there. We're back with Mean on Mondays, episode 18. I'm Christina.
I'm Joe.
And today's message is don't be a diva. It's fantastic when you can reach a goal or an achievement within your craft. It's also wonderful when you can keep the integrity that you have as a human being instead of possibly becoming a little bit entitled. You know what we're saying. You've probably seen it happen.
Yes, and I was having a conversation. Actually, I feel like I've had a couple recently about when people have had experiences with somebody who they encountered on their dance journey, took class with, worked alongside, and then some time has passed and the person that they'd spent time with had perhaps gotten more recognition, become more visible because of some work that they'd done, and had, for all intents and purposes, turned into what we would all term a diva. And the interesting thing was, it was almost like the quality and the content of their work had been a little bit forgotten, and what was now most loudly recognizable about them was their attitude shift. So number one about this. Oh, and side note, before we get to number one, we both believe in having a healthy respect for those who've gone before us, for those who have shaped this industry that we love and work in, for those who have raised the bar, paved the way, all those classic, potentially cliche terms, but those people who've really pushed boundaries and deserve recognition and respect for what they've either taught, and they have a certain level of expertise. But what I love about some of those people who've done that the most is some of those people are the most humble and gracious. Still the most gracious, and still will often say, well, this is my work, this is my life's work, it's my life's investment. I happen to achieve a certain outcome with something that doesn't make me more or less human, and at my core I'm still a dancer.
So number one is, it's a huge thing, respect where you came from. So whether you're the dancer that won all the first places and you got all the overalls at the competition, or you were someone who just came off of a tour for a major artist, or you're a choreographer who just, everybody's flocking to you, you have 100,000 followers. It doesn't make you a different person than you were before you had those followers. It does give you more experience in life, but it doesn't change who you are at the core. And I think what we always like to strive for is inviting people to stay the best version of themselves, because you always want to act with integrity. You're talking about who you are all the time. Absolutely. And it's who you are when no one's watching that is the most important.
It's about recognizing what got you here in the first place. And when it particularly comes to respecting where you came from, realizing that at some point you looked up to somebody. At some point there was somebody ahead of you on the path, or that was close enough in the vicinity, who was achieving something that you aspired to, and you were looking up to that person. You were not just looking up to the things that they were achieving, you're also observing how they behave as a human, what kind of energy they send out. So it's also about understanding that with a certain level of visibility and at a certain level of achievement comes a responsibility. And it's a legacy almost that you're creating that people will learn from, and you have a choice about how you leave that,
how you choose to represent yourself. And then there is
number two. Number two, and this is really closely linked with what we were just saying about respecting where you came from. Now I'm talking about the actual thing that we're doing, respecting your craft, respecting that dance and your love of dance and your investment in dance, what you've learned from dance, is what is your craft, is what you're working on, and not to let a moment of accolade or a moment of, super shiny success sever that connection. So it's about celebrating, it's about honoring the contribution you've made, being excited and celebrating it, but not letting it take you further away from the journey that you started on.
Then number three, which is a really cool thing, is stay really easy to work with. So whether you're the choreographer or we'll say, for example, you're the dancer, and someone asks you to do something, you're always ready. The answer is always yes, I'm going to do my best. I'll try to do that, no problem. The people that become really difficult to work with, I'm sure you've seen it, they try to take charge of the room, or they need a certain drink, or they need it a certain temperature, or the hours are too long, or started too, or it's always something. And there's a way that you can, with respect for yourself and the team you're working with or the job you're working with, no matter what your job title is, there's a way you can ask for something with integrity that honors your experience and that honors everyone around you, rather than, entitled. I obviously I can't do that because it's only 70 degrees in here and I need it to be 75, or I can't play.
Number 4, is really closely related to number 3, and its bottom line is this. We talk a lot about brand, and brand, as is described by the CEO and founder of Amazon, is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So that pretty much sums up a lot of what we've said about being easy to work with, respecting where you've come from, having the respect for your craft. You don't want a shift in your attitude to become the most memorable thing about you as a dancer. You want your contributions as a dancer, choreographer, creative, teacher, whatever it is, to be what is most remembered about you, rather than a shift in attitude or something that took you away from yourself.
For me, bottom line is I see a ton of it's the social media, the Facebook likes, the YouTube stuff. Like, I love that, and it's a great platform to grow from, to learn from, and to put your art out there. But it in no way entitles you to not behave like a human.
It's about respect. And when you're respecting what you're doing, you're respecting where you came from, you're respecting the other people who are part of the community that you're professing and saying that you're a part of, then you're also respecting yourself.
Yeah.
And the thing about being a diva is instantly when that becomes what you're most known for, people forget whatever else it was that you're doing. All of a sudden, what's most noticeable, what's most memorable, what comes to mind and to conversation most of all is the attitude.
And the thing is, if you end up being in the energy of someone who is a diva, I said I'm not a big advocate of supporting it, yes. But if it's a choreographer and you love their style, by all means go and take what you came for. Take I want to learn the style. I love the way they hit. I love the way they move. But not in a way that maybe idolizes something that isn't aligned with, being an all-inclusive human, and something that puts them on a pedestal. Because you're worth just as much, and you are worth just as much respect as anyone else leading the class or anyone else taking the class. So if you end up around anyone who is a diva, just admire them for the parts of their craft that you love and maybe you want to learn from, but not the other parts.
So what it boils down to for me is this. Once a diva, once branded, once known as a diva, you're more known for those kinds of behaviors than you are for what you're actually contributing as a dancer in this particular example, but you can apply that to any kind of career path, full stop. And the interesting thing about that is some of the people who are most well remembered and spoken of with the highest level of respect in any particular industry are often those who had more than just a moment or more than just a series of moments. They were known for the way they continued to respect what they did, how they passed that on, for their human qualities, for their interest in staying connected to what it was they started on, to what it was they started with, and not just for their interest in leaving that behind so that they could have a moment that was more diva-like, or have a moment of celebrity, have a moment where they could ask for more than they were willing to offer.
Great. Diva.
Don't be a diva. Just know. Be
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Be you. Stay you. Okay, bye.
Bye.